State now. Sam, good to have you join us on ADBN Sport this Monday evening. So bring us up to speed, of course, with what's happening in the camp of the Super Falcons as we prepare for tomorrow's game against Cameroon.
Oh, well, a lot has been going on well for the team. They've been training. They just completed the final training session this afternoon before the Cameroonians came to take over the team in Djibouti. So the team is very much in high spirits. They are looking very eager to go, and despite the setbacks of not having to play the first play game due to a lot of force majeure, particularly beyond not just the team but the federation as well. They are really in good shape and just showing so much positivity going into tomorrow's game. And we understand this is a friendly, and but again against Cameroon is always a grudge match, and this is a kind of energy we need going to a major championship like this. Cameroon, for many, not qualifying, it probably seems to be an ignored factor, but we can't take anything away from a team like Cameroon. The Indomitable Lionesses has been a powerhouse in women's football in Africa, and definitely will never in any way be short of such glory. So I think going to tomorrow's game, everyone knows that we just need to look at the game as if we are playing the AFCON finals as itself. So I think this is the spirit, this is the energy within the camp, and I think everyone is praising up to it and really gearing up to what the challenge will be like against Cameroon.
Okay, now let's talk about the coach, Justin Madugu. You've had 2 media rallies. What has the coach been saying to the players and, of course, to Nigerians? What has the coach really been saying? What is his target for tomorrow's game? And then also, what is the road map really? Because after tomorrow, which is early June, next month is the WAFCON in Morocco. What is the plan to get the girls ready? Should we anticipate more friendly games, or will it just be the close camp before we go to Morocco to try and win our 10th WAFCON title?
Yeah, well, for the coach, I think he's been talking tough, regardless of what challenge we could face. The same coach was also part of the Thomas and Navy crew when we unfortunately didn't get a preparatory game in 2018. After playing Gambia, we had no game until we played South Africa. No international game, if I must say, before playing South Africa in a game we lost in Cape Coast. And as much as he's familiar with such challenges, it's not as if they imagined it, but again, occasion warranted this. But regardless, for a manager who is not keen to give excuses, he definitely knows that he is trying to bring in the best of results to the team. And I think this is the spirit is also transferring to the players. And honestly, like I said earlier, the players are excited when you consider the talents and the cost of players involved with the team. You know that we really have some of our best players, both on the local scene, both from the Nigerian Women's Football League, and also from the foreign scene. And when you follow the progress of our players, home and abroad, it's pushed on a very confidence level. And for the coach, he has nothing to really worry about. And the normal headaches he will have is that of having so many talents in different positions that he must really come to terms with who would eventually make the score. So I think he's in the process of drawing his provisional squad. Definitely he needs this window to test and assess some players who he thinks probably could be part of the plan going to the major championship. And we know that it's not even just about this next month's WAFCON. The qualifiers for the next WAFCON is also already around the corner. So it's October, and we have a team like the Republic to play. So the continuity in preparation still must be sustained. So I think he's in very much ready mode. He's talking positively, and the quality of response is there from the girls. The energy is very positive, and to be very honest, I'm excited about the mood in the camp, and also the way they are also putting up to ensure that yes, what happened in Morocco 2 years ago does not repeat itself this time around.
Yeah, of course, that is what we're all praying for, which is why on ADBN Sport we keep supporting all the national teams. Whenever we go for a competition, Nigeria needs to come top. Now, let's talk about 2 positions, or maybe more than 2. Up front, there's no Asisat Oshoala in this squad. People are asking questions. I know you are an expert around these matters. So can you share with us what are the thoughts of the coach? It's possible during the media palace that some of our colleagues right there in Ogun State have asked these questions. Why is Asisat Oshoala not in this squad? Will she be back for the WAFCON? And then for the goalkeeping position, people are worried. The two backup goalkeepers, in your own opinion, are they good enough? Because I remember when this list came out, which you can attest to, a number of our colleagues, of course, picked a lot of O's in this team. But overall, you've been with this squad a number of times. You are currently with them in Ijebu-Ode. So the goalkeeping position, if you take out Chiamaka and Adeoze, the best goalkeeper, in my opinion, of course, when you talk about women's football currently, and then the Asisat Oshoala question. So bring us up to speed around these two issues.
Yeah, honestly, for the case of Asisat Oshoala, well, I did personally engage her myself, beside having to talk to the coach. And as much as I'm aware of the behind the scenes, I spoke to her personally, just to show some sense of concern and what happened. She spoke to me positively, like, yes, yeah, she's been in very much good contact with the coach. They've been talking and to ensure that she's available when she's very much ready to join the team. And that being said, I think on the side of the coach, he has also spoken positively about Asisat, that he's very much welcome at any time. Asisat has always pledged to be his loyalty to the team. His absence in no way doesn't create any disconnect. They're in touch, and she still see her as a an integral part of this Super Falcons squad going to the WAFCON. And on the other hand, talking about the goalkeeping concern, I think it's natural for everyone to have concerns. And that the couple of goalkeepers we're having, I won't ignore the fact that we're having some sort of difficult times for the progression of our goalkeepers outside the first choice goalkeeper in Chiamaka and Adeoze. We don't seem to have a consistent pace, a regular pace that come around in camp. But again, I think it's work in progress. We always can also have the best of goalkeepers when we build confidence in them. Chiamaka too wasn't our first choice at every level. And in the 17 level, Chiamaka wasn't our first choice. And in the 20 level, Chiamaka wasn't our first choice. She was second to Onyinyechi Okeke. And when she got a chance, she took it. Even at her club, she wasn't our first choice. She missed like 13 league games before she began to gain control of the poll, and since then she hasn't looked back. So I think we just need to give confidence to these other homegrown goalkeepers coming on. While we know that the coach are also still assessing these goalkeepers to see how best they can deliver in the task, and also see how best playing with a player like Nadoze want to work up on them. So it's about confidence building, and I believe we can in any way throw them under the carpet. We believe they can always give their best if given the chance. So it's a preparatory games. It doesn't guarantee anything for anybody making the squad. So I think we must leave all hopes open and also allow the coaches to apply their discretion. They can know this. They know these players closely, especially based on first-time assessments in their camp. So they can best decide what is good for us. So I think at that level, I can't wait to see what the coach decisions are. We definitely have options, but regardless, we must trust the judgment of the coaches and also see how best they make the best of it. But it's always a work in progress, and we expect that they make the best decision that will also ensure that the country makes its success on the continental stage.
Yeah, I agree with you. So we'll be watching out for that game tomorrow. Of course, I'll be following it. By this time tomorrow, we'll be able to report on the outcome of that game, and also watch out for the plan by the NFF to around a month thereabout to prepare our girls. Sam. Yeah.
Apologies, I missed that on that. Talking about the plan, I think I definitely understand that the federation really has a lot on their hands. We can't ignore the realities of managing football. As much as we could sit in the comfort of our home as armchair critics with our hands on our pads, it's quite easy to throw words around, or even drag anyone. But again, we must understand that it's a lot of challenges, especially understanding the number of national teams that are involved. You're not even talking about the variable sport, the big soccer, flag football. A lot of sports also emerging now in football. The futsal and what have you. It's a lot of challenge. Now we even have under 15, and under 15 women is also coming in. So a lot of programs that the NFF is also trying to be involved with. And overall, you see the Super Eagles who are also having struggles to deal with. So for the part of the Super Falcons, I think there's a lot in plan. Unfortunately, we wanted 2 games for this window by the constitution of the NFF. Now we have to make do with one by challenges beyond them. But regardless, beyond this, I know there is plans to have another friendly with Portugal. Okay. It's already confirmed that it's a one-game friendly, but I think conversation has still gone to probably see if we can have a 2-match friendly. And besides this, I think they are also still working around the phone to see if they could also possibly get a game between after the game against Portugal before the team travel to Morocco. Okay. So the NFF is really desperate about making sure that the environment is conducive, ensure that the proper arrangement is in place regardless of the constraints they are facing in terms of funds and resources or support. But in this also aspect here, I think the corporate world, public sector also need to buy into this thing. These are women. Let's encourage these women. Which an end is not a campaign that it should be shown that covers, just like we do for Let's Do It Again. We came close at the men's AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire last year. Go to the finance. We should also devote the same energy. Where we see the big names, the big politicians joining the boys, coming around the team, supporting. Yeah. The PSCs also need the first ladies, the wife of the president. I think they need more of this support to at least galvanize their motivations, boost them to ensure that, boost their morale to ensure that, yes, they can go all the way. It is even more easier for the Super Falcons team to win an AFCON, win the World Cup, than any other national team in Nigeria or even in Africa. So this is, I think, it's also a burden on all of us, also the fans, that we can show true support to these girls, cheer them up, and at least like the game tomorrow, turn out in mass in the stadium to cheer these girls, and I think show that, yes, we also want them to win the La Decima. I believe they are eager to go to Morocco and come back with the trophy. Yeah,
I think the game tomorrow in Abeokuta, I expect a fully packed stadium, similar to what we had at the National Sport Festival, those finals, the semi-final and the final, that was the stadium was filled to the brim, of course. Before I let you go, just quickly, we have to talk about the NWFL. While introducing you, I say you are the media director of the NWFL. Bayelsa Queens are back as the queens of Nigerian football. So we have the Wafu B coming up, and then potentially they can do what TP Mazembe ladies did by returning to the continent and winning the title, building on previous experiences. So this season is done. What are the plans for next season? Is there talk already? Which month should we expect? Is there any form of support the NWFL will be lending to Bayelsa Queens to ensure that finally we can produce a Nigerian women's club that will win the CAF Women's Champions League?
Yeah, talking about the league, I think we have limited concerns, especially when it's involved a team like Bayelsa. Okay. We understand what a team like Bayelsa stands for, reflecting on how they turned out, especially at the festival and also at the Niger Delta Sports Festival. Yeah. And I feel like for a state like Bayelsa, you don't need to break your sweat before you know that they will turn out heavily, considering the strength of the governor and his interest in sports, being also formerly a sports commissioner in the state. So I think we saw what Bayelsa did the last time, still the most successful team on the continent from Nigeria, and I think they will want to also go a notch higher. I'm fully aware that even the money they made from participating in 2022 is still in stock. They haven't really mismanaged it, is still very much in stock, and these are money they hope to invest, ensuring that they qualify, they win the league, and also qualify, not just qualify from the WAFU region, but also go all the way to possibly go to the final. So they've done a lot well. I think on the technical aspect, if you look at the Super States, they also did a lot of things differently that many don't know. They had to bring in a technical support to the coach in the person of Ikenne to support the team. And you may think that results went in their favor in the end, but it was a lot of little details. They had a tidy up behind the scene. This is what Bayelsa stands for. So they know that it's also when it gets to that level where it will be challenging for them to need to show up their bench. They need to bring in the necessary quality that will really do a lot of things differently for them. So I think I won't I have no worries at all when it gets to when you talk about Bayelsa, because they've always tidied up their plans and they seem like a state and a team that knows what they are doing and also what they want to achieve. So on the part of the league calendar, I think we'll see how the running calendar. The Nigerian Women's Football League is not only about the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership. We have the championship. We also have other cadre who are also other categories who are also involved. So the calendar runs from now, from now until September, where the football window closes for Nigerian football. So we will still have the championship coming up, hopefully in few days or few weeks, which will be also communicated to the media, to the public in due times. But again, we'll not see through a calendar before we want to start another. So the calendar season is still running. We have the championship and other tiers to carry out before we can say it's a wrap for the full season, and we can plan for a congress that snowballs into another league season. So it's an encompassing campaign. It's a Nigerian Women's Football League board that will see 3 different tiers of women's football leagues. So it's really huge, and the responsibility is not just on the Premiership alone, but it also extends to the various tiers of the leagues.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sam. I know if I leave you, you can talk for hours about women football. Thank you so much. A man wearing so many caps. I must also mention that he is my secretary, FCT Swan, that is the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria. Thank you so much for, of course, joining us all the way from Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State this evening. I know you had to run, like you saying, both from Ikenne back to Ijebu-Ode with the team just to feature on the show this evening. So do have a lovely time in Ogun. All the best to our girls tomorrow. Regards to Coach Justin Madugu and the rest of the team. We'll be supporting them and reporting, of course, on the progress of the Falcons. Mission X is possible. Hopefully all the state first ladies and, of course, Nigeria's first lady can key into that Mission X. So we'll go to Morocco and win back the WAFCON trophy. I think it's high time we get that 10th title. Thank you so much, and we'll talk some other time, of course.